Hello, everyone, and happy holidays. Hopefully, if you are celebrating Hanukkah, you're lighting the menorah and enjoying the beautiful light in your home. If you're celebrating Christmas, enjoying the Christmas trees. I'll be very candid. I do not know much about Kwanzaa. I probably should educate myself on it, though if you're selling, that's good. Celebrating Kwanzaa, I wish you a happy Kwanzaa. Yule just passed. Many celebrate Yule. Bottom line, this is the season where we celebrate the holidays. And of course, we cannot forget the solstice. We just had the solstice. So our seasons are changing. Before we know it, the new year will be here. I know a lot of folks look at what are they going to change for the new year? I'd like to make a suggestion. Don't think about what you're changing. Think about what you'd like to see better, bigger, brighter. So, for instance, if you're thinking about dropping weight, perhaps don't think about dropping weight. Instead, think about being fit. Think about wearing all the clothes that you want to wear. If you're thinking in terms of, I want a relationship, I want, take the want out of it. Instead, give some time to think about what does it feel like when I'm in a relationship? How happy does it make me? Let your mind go to the energy that is supportive of the thing that you want as your outcome versus your mind going to the things that you believe that you do not have or that you do not want. It sounds a little odd because most people think in terms of, well, I don't want this, so I want that. I'm suggesting you put all of your attention, all of your focus, all of your energy into what it is that will bring you the most joy, that makes you the happiest. That raises your vibration and in turn attracts to you more of what you want. All right, I know we have Susie in Massachusetts. Hi, Susie. I'm actually up here in North Mass right now. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Did you have a particular area of focus you wanted me to look at for you, or did you just want me to give you what comes up? It's your choice.
Um, Unless you're getting a strong pull on something specific, I'd like to look into my love life, please.
Okay. I don't know if you caught that little part that I just said as far as our focus and
hmm
focusing on that part that has to do with the outcome that we desire. So when you say your love life, it's kind of interesting because I get a feeling of push and pull, where there is an inconsistency as far as what you've had, what you want, and how you want things to transform. I don't get the sense of a smooth run, for lack of a better way to put this. On a good note, February, end of February, I'd love to tell you Valentine's Day, but I feel like it's afterwards. End of February feels like it's going to be your time. And what that means to me is sweetness, hugs, warmth, smiles, having to do with romance, having to do with a relationship. This is also a time, though, I feel for you to let relationships that have not really worked, even though they've touched your heart. It feels as if it is time to say, I'm taking a breath and I'm allowing myself to have what I deserve. Think about those words. You allowing yourself to have what you deserve. Not fix, not change, not try to figure it out, but just have what you deserve. Do you follow what I'm talking about here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because I feel so strongly that you are this big bubble of light with others. You give of your heart all the time. And yet, when it comes to you, I don't want to say that you limit yourself so much as it is, I don't feel that you always see your potential. It's almost that sense of, well, all right, so they're nice and they're loving, and then there's this little but in your head, and the thought is, but nobody's perfect. So, we'll just kind of go along here. It really needs to be more about how do you want to feel? Because there's a
Okay.
disconnect here for you. You know what I mean? It's like you're overthinking it intellectually and not
hmm
feeling it emotionally at the level that you want. That makes sense to
Okay.
you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Keep in mind again, tail end of February, I just get
Okay.
that wonderful sweetness coming in for you. In the
Okay.
meantime, do your best to just really and truly, when you first wake up in the morning, think in terms of, I'm having an amazing day because my sweetheart is making me feel great. When you go to bed at night, think in terms of, I had an amazing day and tomorrow will be just as amazing because I'm successful and I have love all around me. And it may sound corny to say these types of things. However, if you do this, you'll find that you put yourself into that mood to attract more of what you want. It helps you to let go of old patterning. And that's part of what I'm getting here with you. There's old patterns that are sticky. They're just kind of
Okay.
hanging on, and you don't need that anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to
2025,
take
just
your advice and do it.
awesome. So, also 2025 is really your year in a lot of ways because I just keep hearing success. I keep hearing enjoyment. Don't limit. And I'm using the word limit again, but it keeps coming to me as if you're not seeing your life as big as it really is. So, for
Okay.
instance, if someone says to you, "Oh, that's great that you did that thing," and you're thinking in your mind, "Yeah, it's all right. Like I did it, like it's not a big deal." When somebody
Hmm.
says to you, "Oh, that was a really big deal," or "That was great," jump in there and say, "You're right. Yeah, I'm really happy I did that," versus dismissing it. You're not connecting as deeply, honey, with, I'm going to say, the abundance that's around you. And I don't think you see how many people actually care about you. You have love being sent your way all the time. And I know that you asked specifically about romance, but to me, you really truly have love around you all the time. And you're just not seeing it at the level that it exists. If you can, before you go to bed at night and when you get up in the morning, really and truly pay attention to, what are those thoughts before you go to sleep? How is it that you are waking up so that by the end of February, not only will this person show up in the way that you want them to, but you will be ready for it. And you will be able to embrace love in your life, not just romantically, but all the way around at a much larger scale than you have been.
Okay.
Okay.
All
The
right.
other thing here,
Mm-hmm.
totally different subject for just a moment, if I may, make sure you keep up with your hemoglobin. So that's red blood cells. I get a little bit of a sensitivity here. If you get regular blood screenings, just make sure you take a look at where your levels are, what your levels are, and so that you have a baseline. Because for some reason, I'm just feeling as if I keep in my mind's eye seeing, funny enough, red meat. So to me, that's representative of red blood cells and them needing to be stronger, more robust. So think
Okay.
in terms of what foods would benefit your red blood cells. And what's funny about this is when we think of romance, we think of what? We think of heart. We think of the color red, right? When we think Valentine's Day, for instance, the
Mm-hmm.
new thing today, it's pink and purple and everything else, but really traditionally it's red. It's that red heart. Well, obviously blood runs through the heart. When our blood runs hot, it's we're excited, right? There's passion. Think
Mm-hmm.
red blood cells. And I feel like
Okay.
it's twofold. Part of it is the physical end of it, and part of it is the emotional part of it. That metaphysical part. Also,
Okay.
I keep
I
hearing
work
the
in a lab.
word, you work in a lab? Okay, so you're dealing with blood all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be easy then for you to look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just please keep up with red blood cells specifically. And it's funny because I'm not hearing like platelets, I'm not hearing white, I'm specifically hearing red blood cells. So again, just
Okay.
pay attention to that because I feel like it has value for you. As far as your actual work, there's some sort of, I want to call it an increase, but I don't feel like it's so much an increase. It could be unilateral,
Mm-hmm.
where they give you something else to work with, but there's an excitement about it. So there's an opportunity coming up here for you as far as with work. And also, I feel like February is the start of a cycle that you're going into that runs February through April of lovely things happening in your life.
Oh, wonderful. Nice.
So I thank you so much. I wish you a beautiful, blessed new year.
Thank you so much. You too.
My pleasure. Take care. Bye bye. Now, I believe somebody from Louisiana is on the line. Marlena.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Hi, Marlena. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great. Did you have a question you wanted to address?
Yes, I just want to ask, what does 2025 look like for me?
Okay, so what's interesting here is 2025 has a very similar feeling to 2023, which means you got to get out of your own way a little bit. 2020
Sounds about right.
was, I'll say, a little tougher than you would have liked. 2024 just feels like it was kind of like do doop, do doop, do doop, do doop. You just kind of went along. 2025
Uh-huh.
has, again, a similar feel to 23. However, it also has a feel of, I'm going to use the word empowerment. There is opportunity
Mm,
here for you to be more empowered in your life, stronger than what you've been in the previous years. And I actually want to go back 5 years to 2020, going into tail end of 2020, going into 2021. It feels like there was a
mhm.
change in your life, and it took away that feeling of you being in charge of your world. And 23
Yes.
was like, oh my gosh, I have to work at it, right? So again, there's a similar vibration, not the same as end of 19 going to 20, but similar to 23. However, I'm going to reiterate this. There is opportunity for empowerment. What that means, honey, is if you really want to take advantage of 25 and get the most out of it, you have to allow yourself to say what was is in the past and really be clear with
Mm,
yourself on that. Because sometimes your oversensitivity has you hold on. There's that not wanting to hurt somebody, not wanting to rehash something, being protective of others. And those are all great traits. However, again, this is about your empowerment, not theirs. That makes sense?
yes, it does.
Okay. Sounds like you got another phone ringing in the background.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm at work. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Okay. We got ring-a-ling going on here.
I know. That was funny.
I think it's the universe just
Okay.
giving you confirmation of yes, pay attention. The bells are going off.
I know. I think so.
What I'd love to suggest, if you're open to it, all kidding aside, really take a few moments, not New Year's Eve, but maybe when you get off the phone with me and ask
Hmm.
yourself, what's most important? Because I feel like you've been too scattered because there's been a need of taking care of things, of having to do things versus getting to choose. And again, I come back to empowerment. You have the opportunity to choose how much you benefit in 25. But that means you have to give more focus to you, not to others. I'm not saying dismiss the people you care about. I'm not saying ignore them. I am saying, though,
Mm,
ask yourself, what can I do for me first before I take care of them? Get really clear with that. So again, if you're open to it when we're off the phone, write down, not type, but actually write. So it goes from heart to hand. What is it that I truly want? If there were no barriers, if there were no thing in the way, nothing in the way, what does that look like? Because I feel like 25 can be a magical year for you if you are
mhm,
more clear what you've been. And part of that, again, I'm going to reiterate, is not to be taking care of everybody first, but taking care of you first.
mhm,
So, for instance, even with work, yes, you have to show up, you have to do your work. However, if you're having a day that you want off and you get a couple of days, whatever that looks like as far as the paradigm with work, make sure you actually take those days. Don't think in terms of, oh, it'll roll over, there's money, there's this. Or, no, actually take the time, even if that's for no other reason than to stay home and put your feet up and eat bonbons and watch movies. In other words, kind of baby yourself a little bit during those days that you are
mm,
entitled. Because I don't feel like you've done that really and truly.
No, no, uh, that it makes so much sense. It does, but there's a part of me that's worried because I feel like I always get this guidance in some way, and I feel like I just don't do it. But I think that I am, but I'm not.
Mm-mm. You're doing.
I don't
Let
know.
me rephrase. It's not that you're not so much, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, you're somewhere between a 1 and a 2. You have to amp up
Mm,
your game. It should be more like 8, 9, 10 versus 1, 2. So again,
I think I'm
sit
in
down.
a. I I think
Go
I'm in a
ahead. Hon.
connection that I should no longer be in anymore, and I think that's draining a lot of my energy.
Right. But that connection, again, you are looking after them instead of looking after you. I
Mm,
keep coming back to this is all about you stepping into your power in 25. You don't want to let it sit and I'm actually going to use the word fester, where you find yourself becoming resentful or frustrated. You want to be clear with what is it that's going to genuinely make my heart happy. And sadly, this connection, I try to say sever connections because I feel like it's always good to maintain friendships and be able to at least know each other and have good thoughts. However, that doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes we
mhm.
have to just say, I have to let it be, at least for now, at least for 2025. And then you can determine or reevaluate in 26 if you want to re-examine, go back in any way. But the overall impression really is, again, putting you at the head of things energetically so that you can have your desires met because it can be a very magical year for you. And here's the neat thing about this. If you start to tweak your pattern, you're going to find that other things start to show up on your doorstep as well that are really lovely. So, for instance, for no
Mm,
reason at all, a neighbor comes by and they have a little gift for you because they were thinking about you. Somebody who all you do is say hi to, right? Or you find that there's a little animal that's sitting at your doorstep and you say good morning to it and it just kind of sits there and then it kind of wanders away and comes back. It's like these
mm,
little serendipitous happenings that will start showing up in your world as soon as you start looking after you a little bit more. And to add to that, anything connected to nature is really good for you because you have an affinity with nature, you have an affinity with animals. And I don't get that you've been embracing that of late.
no, I haven't. I have not.
And yet it makes your heart happy, right?
Yes.
Do the things really and truly that you know are a part of you. And embracing nature is a part of you, embracing animals is a part of you, taking care of you in a way that I'm going to simply say you would do for yourself. Like, treat yourself as good, if not better, than someone else that you would look after, which means stop thinking about how do you protect them and start thinking about how do you protect you.
Okay.
And when it comes to work, there's expansion here. There's growth. There is more smiles. I feel like by the time you get to September of 2025, there's a big opportunity that rolls around for you. And if you are like, oh my God, I don't know, I'm kind of afraid, tell that little voice in your head, that inner critic, to be quiet. And instead just say yes, because that little inner
Okay.
critic gets you into trouble. It stops you from so many things that you could truly be enjoying.
Mm,
And
that
something
makes a
totally
lot
different
of
subject.
sense.
I'm so glad.
You
But
said what?
something else totally, I'm sorry, something else as far as different subject for just a minute here. I keep getting eyes. Make sure you keep up with your eye checkups, especially left eye. Get a little
Mm,
sensitive. So it's important that you keep up with that.
okay.
I'm not getting worried like, oh my God, I gotta go. No, it's just a matter of making sure you keep up Again, little sensitivity. I feel like it can be managed, but you can't manage it unless you know what it is.
Right.
Do you have a
Mm.
specific question you'd like to address? Trying to give you as much as I can during our time together.
Yes. So, I'm sorry, I don't know how this worked. So with the opportunity coming in 2025 for work, it's funny that you say that. I've been trying for years to get, I'm in the military, to get stationed overseas. And I'm wondering if that is it. I was going to ask you if you had anything around that.
Okay, so you heard what I said about being clear about taking care of you, right? And
Mhm.
nice
Mhm.
serendipity showing up if you do that. I see you going overseas. However, I don't see an order coming, let's say January, February. I feel like again, it's
Okay.
later in the year, but I do
Mhm.
see opportunity there. And I also see that once you make that change as far as moving, you're going to find something else, another door opens. So, for instance, whatever your position is right now in the service, there's going to be an opportunity to either apply for something else, or your commanding officers will be able to say, hey, we think you would be great for this. But I definitely get, again,
Mhm.
expansion, greater opportunities coming up for you.
Okay.
You
Okay.
you can
Um.
speed up the results, just so that you know you can speed up the result again if you are laser focused on your wellness. When I say wellness, I'm not talking about like physical health, I'm talking about overall wellness in your life.
I know. I I'm like super. I feel like kind of like in a really depressed energy right now. So, do you see like me pulling out of that? Do you see like any good months this year calling out to you or anything like that?
Okay, so again, September feels like a very strong month as far as things really coming together, blossoming, happening. But in the interim, if you want to speed up your results, again, get more focused on you. And I'm going to put it like this: it almost sounds as if you need to be selfish so that you can have what you
Mm,
want. I'm not saying be
okay.
mean, but I am saying take care of yourself. And as far as depressed energy, it is really and truly because you're not doing enough for you. I keep hearing, for instance, writing. So you've got a little bit of a gift there, and you don't have to write for anybody other than you, but maybe get a little journal or get even pad and paper where you just start writing whatever pops up. I feel like it's very cathartic for you, as well as you're really very good at writing, but you haven't been giving yourself the opportunity to do that. And that too, anything you do for you that is happiness, that is connected to happiness, that is connected to you looking after yourself, will speed up your positive results and will lift your vibrations so that energy that feels depressed, that feels lower, is actually raised. The other thing that you may want to
Okay.
try is when you get up in the morning, before you get out of bed, slow your breathing down, take 3 very deep, very long breaths. And with each breath, say to yourself, I am awakening to my own power. 3 nice
Mm,
long deep, and you will notice that your days start out a lot nicer than they've been. Thank you so much for calling.
thank you so much. That was very lovely. I really needed to hear all of that. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you. All right, folks, really and truly, we all have abilities. We all have gifts. Oftentimes we don't pay attention to them. Do you want to make 25 a spectacular year? I don't care what last year was like or 10 years before. Start thinking in terms of what brings you joy. Tap into that energy, even if it means thinking back to when you were 2 and you first got a lollipop. Connect with parts of your life that felt good. You will connect with that energy, and like attracts like. I thank you so much for tuning in this evening, and I look forward to connecting with you next week.